What if the most dangerous thing in the ocean wasn't a shark? Imagine surfing in paradise, the sun on your back, the crystal clear water below. Then suddenly, a predator from the deep breaches the surface. A flash of silver, a strike, and everything changes in a heartbeat. That's exactly what happened to Giulia Manfrini, a fearless Italian surfer and adventurer, in one of the rarest and most shocking marine encounters ever recorded. While catching waves in Indonesia's Mentawai Islands, Giulia was fatally struck by a swordfish, a creature more known for evading humans than attacking them. Its spear-like bill pierced her chest with lethal precision, ending her life in seconds. No wipeout, no warning, just a perfect wave, followed by the unthinkable. But was this just a freak accident? Or are we starting to misunderstand the behavior of animals we thought we knew? Stick with me till the end as we explore the life of Giulia Manfrini, the science behind swordfish, and the haunting mystery of that final wave. Coming up, who was Giulia, and what drew her to the edge of the world? Giulia Manfrini wasn't just another surfer chasing stoke. She was a vibrant, fearless adventurer who lived at full throttle. Born in Italy, she first made waves as a pro snowboarder, carving through European mountains with fearless grace. But it was the ocean that eventually stole her heart. Her love for the sea turned into a mission. Giulia became a certified surf coach and co-founded A Wave Travel, a company built around shared adventure, bringing people together through surf and snow experiences worldwide. She wasn't in it for money or fame. She was in it for connection. Through this, she helped hundreds of people experience the thrill of adventure while promoting sustainability and love for nature. To those who knew her, she wasn't just a coach, she was a spark. The kind of person who made you feel like the world was bigger, brighter, and more worth exploring. She had salt in her blood and joy in her soul. By October 2024, she was in the Mentawai Islands, a surfer's paradise known for its world-class waves. She was guiding a surf group. It wasn't a vacation, it was her element. She had no idea this dream destination would be her final stop. Giulia lived more in 1 year than many do in a lifetime. Her story reminds us that the adventurers we admire are real people, flawed, fearless, and fragile. Up next, what happened that morning in the water, and why the world was left speechless. It was sunrise on Masokut Island. The breeze was light, the water warm. Giulia Manfrini paddled out with her group, ready to catch clean Indonesian waves. She was relaxed, happy, exactly where she belonged. Then, chaos. Witnesses say it happened so fast most didn't see it until it was over. A massive swordfish, possibly disoriented, breached the surface like a missile. In a freak collision, its razor-sharp bill struck Giulia directly in the chest. No growl, no warning, just a flash of violence in paradise. The water turned red. Surfers screamed. The group scrambled to get her on a board, paddling furiously toward shore. Someone applied pressure to the wound, desperately trying to stop the bleeding. Someone else called ahead to the nearest clinic, but it was too far, and the wound was too deep. By the time they reached land, Giulia was slipping away. Despite every effort, CPR, adrenaline, desperate prayers, her heart stopped. She was pronounced dead at the clinic, surrounded by people who tried with everything they had to save her. A wave hadn't taken her. A shark hadn't attacked her. It was something so bizarre, a swordfish, so statistically improbable that even marine biologists were left stunned. The shock rippled across the island, then across the globe. A tragic twist of fate. A rare predator, a moment of randomness, and a life cut short in the place she felt most alive. If this story has moved you, even a little, consider subscribing. We share real stories like Giulia's that deserve to be remembered, honored, and learned from. One click helps keep her legacy, and others like hers, alive. Stick around, because in the next segment, we're diving into what makes swordfish such unpredictable and dangerous creatures, and why this attack is so rare it almost defies explanation. And could this happen again? Swordfish are the gladiators of the sea. With torpedo-shaped bodies and bills like spears, they cut through water at over 50 miles per hour. Their weapon isn't just sharp, it's deadly. Swordfish use it to slash schools of fish, stunning prey before devouring them. They're built for ambush and escape. But here's what's odd. They don't go after humans. Most documented swordfish injuries happen when the animal is hooked. Pulled into a boat, they thrash out of survival instinct. But Giulia wasn't fishing. She was surfing, peacefully. So why would a swordfish strike? One theory, it was chased by a predator. Another, it was sick or confused. In shallow surf zones, swordfish are out of their comfort zone. One wrong move or one flash of panic, and they could launch out of instinct. Whatever the reason, this wasn't malicious, but it was fatal. The ocean is still a mystery. And creatures like the swordfish, while beautiful and fascinating, remind us that the sea is still wild and untamed. Next, just how rare is an attack like this? The numbers will shock you. Let's be clear, swordfish don't kill surfers. It's almost unheard of. In recorded history, fewer than a dozen swordfish-related human deaths worldwide exist. Nearly all occurred during deep-sea fishing trips, when the fish was threatened, hooked, hauled in, and fighting for survival. A swordfish striking a surfer unprovoked? That's virtually unheard of. That's a 1 in a billion strike. Marine biologists still don't have an exact explanation. Swordfish generally avoid humans. They're deep-sea hunters, spending most of their time in open water, far from shore. They're solitary, elusive, and surprisingly shy. The odds are astronomical. Right place, wrong time. Right angle, wrong second. It's the kind of event that feels like fiction. And yet, it happened. Giulia's story stunned researchers and seasoned surfers alike. Many had surfed the same break. Many had watched swordfish leap in the distance, but never imagined one could fatally collide with a human. Her story wasn't just tragic, it was freakishly rare, almost like the ocean rolled a deadly set of dice. This was more than tragic. It was surreal. So while we can't live in fear of the sea, this incident reminds us that when we step into nature, we're entering a world that's not entirely ours. Up next, when ocean wildlife goes rogue, how rare is it really? Most people associate ocean danger with sharks, but the truth is, it's not always the big predators you expect that turn deadly. Over the past 50 years, there have been only a handful of documented cases where large ocean animals have injured or killed humans in non-aggressive, non-defensive encounters. And even those involved conditions we rarely think about: disorientation, environmental stress, or surprise encounters in shallow water. Take stingrays, for example. They're docile by nature, but one freak strike took the life of Steve Irwin. Or marlin and swordfish, which almost never interact with humans, yet occasionally they breach at high speed and collide without warning. So what's happening? Some marine biologists believe that rising ocean temperatures, pollution, and increased human activity near sensitive marine zones are confusing large species. Add in sonar, noise, and overfishing, and the sea's natural balance is shifting. Giulia Manfrini's tragic accident was unbelievably rare, but it's also a chilling reminder. The ocean doesn't follow our logic, it follows its own. The more we enter its world, the more we need to respect its unpredictability. Next, the world reacts to Giulia's passing and what her legacy left behind. The moment the news hit, the surf world stopped. Tributes flooded Instagram, memorials went viral, Friends and strangers alike shared photos, stories, and disbelief. A Wave Travel, her company, released a statement filled with heartbreak and love. They called her a lighthouse, guiding others to joy, to nature, to freedom. Friends described her as a light, a warrior, and a soul with salt water in her veins. Even those who had only met her briefly remembered her smile and her energy. In the Mentawai Islands, surfers gathered for a paddle out. Boards formed a circle, flowers floated on the tide. Tears fell into the same ocean that had taken her. But even beyond surf culture, Giulia's story resonated. News outlets from Europe to Australia picked it up. Marine experts weighed in. Conversations around safety, marine behavior, and risk sparked everywhere. And slowly, something else happened. People began talking not just about how she died, but how she lived. Giulia's energy, her light, her dedication to adventure, they became the center of the story. She was no longer the woman killed by a swordfish. She was Giulia, the explorer, the athlete, the friend. Next, her death left us reeling. But what can we learn from a life lived this boldly? Giulia's death was rare and more than a freak accident, but her message? Universal. She reminded us that life isn't something you tiptoe through. It's something you charge at, head first, heart open. She chased beauty, pushed limits, and invited others to come with her. Yes, her death was shocking. But her life was radiant. She lived without hesitation, without fear. And that's what we carry forward. Not just her memory, but her mindset. She showed us what it looks like to live fully. And in the end, that's the only legacy that matters. Final reflection coming up. Was it worth the risk? People often say, she died doing what she loved. So, was it worth it? That's a question only she could answer. But maybe the better question is, what are we doing with the time we have? Giulia didn't play small. She didn't settle. She chose the wave, again and again. Let that be the takeaway. Live boldly, love deeply. Don't wait for life to be safe before you decide it's worth living. But whether you're a surfer, a diver, or just someone who enjoys the beach, there's a lesson here. Adventure isn't without risk, and even the most experienced can be caught off guard. It's not about living in fear. It's about staying aware, prepared, and humble in the face of nature's strength. If this story moved you, like this video, share it, and subscribe for more real stories from the ocean's edge. Also leave a comment, share your thoughts, or tag someone who needs to hear it. Let's keep her story writing forever.